Ah, the Pacific Northwest. The rivers, the mountains, the nature. Just majestic. Hey there, it's Theo from Geeky Gamer Guy. This video I'll be previewing Cascadia from Flatout Games. Note, just like most of my previews, this video shows prototype components and is subject to change. Let's get exploring. Cascadia is a token collecting and tile laying spatial puzzle for 1 to 4 players. Players will be aiming to create the most harmonious mass of land tiles and placing wildlife on them to score points by game's end. To set up, place the wildlife tokens in the bag. These tokens show the 5 different kinds of wildlife in the game: hawk, bear, elk, salmon, and fox. Shuffle the land tiles into face down stacks, removing some depending on the player count. There should be 20 per player plus 3 to be precise. Each land tile can show one or multiple land types: mountains, forest, prairies, wetlands, and rivers. Randomly choose a wildlife scoring card for each of the wildlife. These cards show how each token per wildlife scores during the endgame scoring. Place the cards in the center of the table. Give each player a starter land tile to place face up in front of them, returning the rest to the box. Reveal 4 land tiles face up in a line. Then draw 4 wildlife tokens from the bag and place one below each land tile. Place the nature tokens in a pile. The player who recently saw any of the wildlife depicted goes first, or you can choose randomly. We're ready to begin! Starting with the first player and proceeding clockwise around the table, each player will take a turn until there are no land tiles left to refresh at the end of their turn, triggering endgame scoring. This gives each player exactly 20 turns. Better make it count. On a player's turn, they will follow these steps. Select the land tile and wildlife token, and place the tile and token in their environment. When selecting a land tile and wildlife token, first check to see if the wildlife are overpopulated. If all 4 tokens show the same wildlife, they are automatically wiped, setting the 4 tokens aside and refreshing them with 4 new tokens from the bag. If 3 of the tokens are the same wildlife, then the player may choose to wipe the 3 tokens and refresh them with new ones from the bag. All wiped tokens then go back in the bag. After that, select one of the 4 possible sets of land tile and wildlife token below it. If a player has a nature token, they can spend it to take any combination of the 4 tiles and tokens, or wipe any wildlife tokens, following the rules for overpopulation. Place the land tile and wildlife token into your environment, making sure the land tile is adjacent to and not overlapping an already placed one. Matching the terrain is not a requirement, but may help with scoring more points at the end of the game. Place the wildlife token on an empty land tile that shows its matching picture. There can only be 1 token per tile. If the wildlife token is placed on a keystone tile, represented by a white triangle, they gain a nature token. After that, replace the tile with a new one and add a wildlife token below it from the bag. Play continues clockwise to the next player. Turns go round and round until all land tiles can't be refreshed. Then players move on to endgame scoring. Using the score pad, each player will score the following: each wildlife scoring card according to the wildlife tokens in their environment. Any nature tokens are worth 1 point. Then each player scores 1 point per land tile in their largest contiguous habitat of each land type. Lastly, score land tile majorities for each land type according to the number of players. 3 points in a 3 to 4 player game, or 2 points in a 2 player game, to the player with the largest habitat of each land type. The player with the second most scores 1 point. Add up all the points and the player with the most points wins. If there's a tie, the player with the most nature tokens wins. If there's still a tie, they share in the victory. Some features here include a quick playing 2-layer puzzle that stretches your brain to place land tiles and wildlife tokens. The game boasts variety with 3 scoring cards for each wildlife, making different combinations to switch up each play. The game can also be played in family and intermediate modes to simplify things. Also, there will be a challenging solo mode, utilizing a conveyor style mechanic to create scarcity among player choices, with potentially even more variations to be added later. All wrapped in the rich saturated colors and beautiful art from Best Sobel to immerse you in the great outdoors as you play. This game is definitely for players that enjoy spatial puzzles. Fans of Flatout Games' earlier release Calico will feel right at home here, providing a brand new crunchy challenge to play along with it. I put a link to the Kickstarter for y'all to check out in the comments below. That's it! Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, plus hit the bell to not miss out on future videos. Until next time, stay geeky, keep gaming! The Pacific Northwest. The mountains. Oops. Each player should... Nope, 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 nope.